My name is Jonathan Goforth with Keller Williams Platinum Partners. Thanks for watching today's video. We're going to talk about a concept that you need to know. What is a seller's market? What is a buyer's market? I'm going to tell you exactly what these terms are, what they mean, how they relate to real estate. So that's today's topic. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, give this video a like. Let's jump right into this topic. This is really the basics of real estate. It's a concept that you need to know as a real estate agent, but just for the public, you're probably curious, what is a seller's market? You know, I hear about it all the time. What's a seller's market? They talk about it on the news. What exactly is a seller's market? That's what we have now. Let's talk about what it is, and then what is a buyer's market? These are the two terms. Now let's explain it in such a way that you can easily understand it. Like any product, such as buying a car or a food or whatever, every product is priced based on supply and demand. And the more demand there is for something, then the higher the price, correct? The more the demand is for a certain thing, the higher the price. The more value is placed on that product if there's a big demand for it, especially during a time when there's a very low supply. And that's what we have seen during COVID, causing inflation. Our supply of many products has gone way down. And because of that, the demand is very high, which makes the price go up. Right? So now that is the description of a seller's market. We have very high demand, very low inventory. And what does that do to the value of the product, which in this case is a house? It makes the value go up. The values increase. They're going up. Appreciation. That's the happy word we use in the housing market. It's the same thing for all other products. We call it inflation. Nobody wants to use the word inflation, but that's the same thing for the housing market. Values are going up, but people love it when their house is worth more. They just don't want their food to go up in price, or gas, or whatever else we're talking about. The opposite is true for a buyer's market. Now we're going to talk about how these work. Use some examples to help you memorize what this is. The value is going down in a buyer's market. Now, why? Let's talk about why. In a seller's market, the seller has control of the market because there is very low supply. So coming into COVID, back in 2019, we were already in a seller's market. Now, I will tell you, I don't believe a lot of what experts say. I think COVID has proven experts typically have no idea what they're talking about, and they give a lot of bad advice. Same is true when it comes to the housing market. There's a lot of experts that have been waiting for it to crash ever since COVID started. And what happened? Not only did they get it wrong, but they got it opposite. Really, really wrong. We had a seller's market before COVID. That means we had pretty low inventory. Homes were appreciating. We had really strong demand, fighting for not enough inventory. That was a seller's market coming into COVID. Now, they say, experts, whatever, say a balanced market for housing is about 6 months of inventory. Now, that's what they've said for the last 26 years. That's what they were saying when I got into real estate. But things have changed and the experts haven't. And so I personally think a balanced market is about 3 months of inventory. really no more than 4 months of inventory. So let's say it's 4 months of inventory. Anything less than 4 months of inventory would be a seller's market. Anything more than 4 months worth of inventory would be a buyer's market. So what does that mean? That means if you look at all the homes currently on the market, no others, just what's on the market right now, all the inventory, how long would it take to sell all of them? And that's how long it takes on, let's say, 4 months. And if it takes less than 4 months to sell everything on the market, then we have a seller's market. If it takes longer than that, it's a buyer's market. For example, back in 2004, 2005, market was thriving. The housing market was on fire. We built my dream home and started construction in 2005 and finished it, moved in 2006. Halfway through 2006, things are beginning to start changing. By the time we go into halfway through 2007, we have changed into the beginning of a buyer's market, because now all of a sudden the demand has dropped and the inventory is rising, and by 2008 the market has collapsed. We have gone into a bad, strong buyer's market. And at that point, I have lots of listings. I have lots and lots of listings. No realtor wants listings in a buyer's market because they're going to sit. I had listings that would sit for over a year, and then eventually they would just go into foreclosure. Couldn't sell them. We didn't have enough buyers. There was one point in 2010 when the market finally hit the bottom. The most extreme buyer's market, I think, ever since the Great Depression. We did not have enough buyers in the market to even buy all the listings. That's how bad it was. We had massive amounts of supply, extremely low demand for all those homes on the market. That was a buyer's market. The buyer had control. The buyer could go pick a house and they could offer pretty much whatever they wanted. And chances are the homeowner's going to take it. That's a buyer's market. Let's hope we never go into this kind of a situation again. That was a collapsed market. Values are dropping. Values are plummeting. Everybody's reducing. Everybody's chasing the market down. And buyers are just going after the best deal they can find. Now, that was the best time to buy investment property. If you could get a condo in Florida back in 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, we had 5 bad years. Oh my gosh, those houses are worth a fortune now, because now we're in the strongest seller's market ever in history. And what's weird, we're talking about two extremes, but ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world of real estate. You're in an extreme right now. Now here's the problems that it creates. Is this a good housing market? No, this sucked, especially for real estate agents. It was hard to make a career. You know, during this time, title companies have gone out of business. It's so bad during this. There were 4, you probably don't know this, there were 4 big banks that controlled mortgage lending in the United States. Now keep in mind, a lot of this was caused, this housing crash, the real estate crash of 08, 09, 10, 11, that was caused by the housing market. Bad loans. Getting people into homes who could not afford it. And where that came from were ARMs. A lot of that was interest-only adjustable ARMs. And then when the ARMs adjusted 3 years later, which is what made it thrive back in 2004, 2005 was the peak. 2005 was just insanely so good, coming into halfway through 2006, which means, yes, I closed on my house in the summer of 06 at the peak. And then my value plummeted with everybody else's over the next 10 years. Finally, thanks to the market we have now, my house is worth more than I paid for it in 06. And that's the difference between these. So what we have right now is a seller's market. Here's how it kind of plays into all this. So coming in to COVID, we had around 2 months of inventory. Coming into the end of 2019, we had roughly 2 months of inventory. C, it was a strong seller's market. We had low supply, very high demand, the market's thriving. And then COVID hit. And what COVID did, couple things that the government didn't need to do, but again, experts don't always get it right. I have to be careful what I say there. It took us, so what happened? COVID shut things down. And so instantly our inventory that was already low, it shrinks into what has become a record low inventory. Our country has never seen such a thing. And because interest rates were lowered and lowered and lowered and lowered into what became a record low interest rate, fighting over record low inventory, it creates so much demand that we didn't need. You've got thousands of people fighting over dozens of listings. So these are extreme high and an extreme low. And so because of some decisions that were made, it threw us into rapid appreciation. Values went nuts in 2020. And all of a sudden, it's a perfect time to be a real estate agent and get listings because it's going to sell. It's going to sell in hours. You're going to get lots and lots of showings the first night. You're going to get lots of offers. Your lowest offers, probably full price. Why write that? You're going to go through the roof with multiple offers and higher and higher and higher bids. A bidding war, we have never seen anything like it. And it's been going on. It's still going on, but it's slowed down some. That is an extreme seller's market. Now, what did the months of inventory look like? So we dipped here in the Midwest down to 0 for a while. Our record low was a 0.7 months of inventory. Less than a month of inventory. Never seen that before. This also means for many new realtors, if you're new, it's going to be very hard to have a huge career right now because we also have a record number of realtors in the nation. Don't know if you knew that. That's why my YouTube channel's gone nuts. Thank you for subscribing, by the way. If you haven't, please subscribe. Please give this video a like. Now, this is changing some. Right now, in the Midwest, the Kansas City Realtor Association is huge. It takes in a massive amount of land. It goes all the way up pretty much to the Nebraska state line, all of greater Kansas City. It takes in way out west. It goes out close to Topeka. It takes in Lawrence. It goes out east, 45 minutes east. It takes in Warrensburg, goes up north to St. Joe. It's lots and lots of counties are in our MLS. And our MLS right now is currently at 1.4 months of inventory. Now, during the winter, which typically your inventory will grow because it's a softer market. Not as many people want to sell or buy a home in the winter because they want to stay put and decorate. But we went up to about 1.7 months in December and January. But now, because of the speed, we got, spring and more buyers. We've dipped to 1.4 months of inventory currently. And can you see why this is still an extreme seller's market? It is. Now, the upper bracket is slowing down, takes longer. They're still selling, but they're getting reduced some. So we are seeing not as much appreciation, but Kansas City Metro is still appreciating, definitely. Other cities like Seattle right now are not. They are dropping in value. Again, it comes down to supply and demand. Has the demand dropped in your area? What changes the demand usually are job layoffs. If there's people getting laid off, that lowers your demand. Or if a lot of those people are laid off and moving away, then you see your supply growing as a lot of listings come on the market. You can see how these, but they're always moving up and down. That's why your MLS and your Realtor Association are tracking these numbers every month. They want to know where your housing market is every month. NAR tracks it nationally, as well as every local region. That's the difference between a seller's market and a buyer's market. Where are we now? We're in a seller's market. That's what we have. We have a seller's market, pretty much an extreme seller's market. Normal is not this. Normal would be close to close to 2 months of inventory. Low, between 2 and 3 months would be a normal market, where houses take, a couple months to sell, not a couple of days or even a couple of weeks. That's still pretty fast. But higher interest rates have slowed down the upper bracket just because it costs so much more per month on that mortgage payment due to the extra interest. Things to watch for. So we are heading into June of 2023. As we go into the fourth quarter of 2023, I think we should all really be watching interest rates. Experts think interest rates will be falling significantly, especially going into 2024, and we go into another election year, because whoever's running, they're going to want to win. And so the best way you win or win a re-election is you lower interest rates. And so that's typically what we might see going into an election year. So I hope that helps. I hope you learned something. Please subscribe, give this video a like. Check out the 2 videos that are popped up on your screen right now.